Welcome back, Joe Delgado. Indestructible me, Delgado RANTS. Appreciate you being here. Excuse me. I'm glad that you're here sharing this content. Hope you are getting something from this. Hopefully, you picked up my success planner. Get this today. That will change your life, guaranteed. Guaranteed, no matter what. We're actually going to go over big concept on why it's going to change your life and how it can change your life. Assets versus liabilities. But make sure you like and subscribe so you can always stay up to date. And then you can share this content out so we can change the mind and we can change the world. So we can improve, upgrade, elevate the quality of living in all mankind so we can be in a better environment. That's my mission. Assets versus liabilities. Let's talk about this. So what are the differences? So the asset is literally a useful, valuable thing or a person. Liability is that it's something that you're responsible for. And this was a concept that made me question a lot of things. I listened to a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is very renowned. And Robert Kiyosaki mentions in that book that his rich dad told him about this concept about assets versus liabilities. Like everything in your life, you need to define as a asset or a liability. And more, successful people that I listened to, the more and more they talked about that. I talk about this all the time. You're either being handcuffed or something's helping you. Obstacles or opportunities, which one do you want to be on? Like, which one do you want to focus on? And that's essentially what this is. And the biggest example that I can use in our world is owning a home. So a lot of people, when we're told, a lot of people think and feel because we're told repeatedly that buying a home that you live in is an asset. Well, an asset is something that becomes valuable, right? Useful or valuable, which ultimately makes sense, right? Because it's a roof over your head. And it possibly could go up into the future. But before I go into that, let's go on to the aspect of hey, yeah, it's a roof over your head. Boom. Awesome. Great. That would be deemed as an asset because you do need to live somewhere. But you could also live anywhere. You can rent somewhere and that'll be same thing. So that's not the end result. Owning a home, what else does it do? Like maybe you get a yard. You can rent a place that has a yard. So going up in value. The misconception is I am so tired of thinking that I'm throwing money out the window by renting. It's never going anywhere. It's not multiplying. It's not whatever. Those are the people that are really in buying and selling homes often. I've owned 3 homes. I'm selling 2 right now. Not a lot. I mean, it might not seem a lot, but I've gone through all the cycles of finding, buying, and selling, whatever. And, it's definitely always cost me more money, especially when you don't think about the commission that you're making or that you're paying on the exit of the home. But more on that later. So the idea is that the house is going to be more valuable later on. And if you actually pull back the curtains and look at everything, a home's value doesn't really go up. It's actually the reduction of the value of money, inflation. They say that literally home values haven't gone up or have only gone up 3% since 1967. You could call bullshit on that, sure, because I don't remember the article that I read that in. But I was really getting inclined and in tuned on home ownership. 1967 till I think it was 2012, homes increased 3%. And one would think, like, well, a home in 1967 costs probably like 20 grand compared to a couple hundred now these days. Yeah, absolutely. The home didn't actually increase in value. It was just the reduction of the value of money. Inflation. So yeah, you could say that, hey, if I buy a home and live in it, that is inflation proofing my money, my down payment or whatever I paid to own the home. Yeah, I guess so. Absolutely. But let's talk about all the things that you're doing when you own that home. All the time that you're spending on maintaining it and all that type of stuff. If you rent someplace, that's all you do. You pay rent and you clean. You're going to have to clean a home anyways, right? Or you could pay someone to clean. But owning a home, that's 100% your responsibility. Everything, no matter what. If there is a tree that falls down, boom, that's your responsibility. If the hot water tank blows, that's your responsibility. If there's a leak, that's your responsibility. The hedges need to be clipped. The yard needs to be mowed consistently. There's a leak inside the wall. There's paint. You need to repaint. You need to resurface the wood or the concrete slab that you're on. Not only is that all money that you're spending, again, to a product that is minimally going up in value, and you're literally have to do all this time and effort to maintain the home, just to maintain, just for the hopes that in the future you can sell it at a premium. And again, you're not thinking about the exit costs, the commission, 6% commission. If you sold a home, if you bought a home, let's say for $150,000, and you are selling it for $200,000, let's say it's 10 years down the lot, so $200,000. So that sounds like it's going to be a $50,000 profit. So that's what, $200,000. That's going to be $12,000, right, in commission. But you're paying capital gains also on top of that 50 grand because you originally bought it for 150. You're selling it for a profit. Capital gains is what, 26%, 22, 20. Let's say 20. Let's just say 20%. So 50,000 times 20. It's 10 grand. So plus 12. That's 22. So you're making, 38,000, on the exit, 38 grand. But that sounds great, right? But that's not talking about all the other expenses that it's going to take for you to put it on the market. That's not taking in consideration all of the income that you had to pay every single day or every single month just to maintain the property. You're not taking into consideration that. No one does. Because no one wants to look at that number and be like, holy shit. I spent $1,100 on this mortgage on this home every month. And then on top of that, I spent all this money on maintaining it, brought me up to like $1,500, where I could have spent $1,100 or $1,000 or maybe $1,200 in a 3-4 bedroom apartment, and that's it. And I could have moved multiple times. And that's the other liability. You're responsible to sit in that spot for 30 years. That's how long the mortgages usually are. Whereas if you are in a rental or you're renting, you're able to move all over the place, the world. A job opportunity comes and you can fly, you can go. You pay $4 grand to break the lease if you need to. if you can't find a sublet or anything like that, and you can go get promoted, you can get a new job, all that type of stuff. Yeah. We could all sit here and think like, well, I can rent the place out and I'll make income. Yeah, for sure. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is buying a home and sitting in it, right? Because then let's explore other things. Playing video games, what is that? That's an asset or a liability. That's wasting your time. That would be definitely a liability. You're responsible for the time that's taking up. But if you, let's say, you recorded yourself playing the game, and then you put it on a channel, and then you had ads running through that channel, or you use affiliate marketing and whatnot, and you sold through that channel, and you made money, then boom, that would be an asset. Because it's increasing in value. You're adding more followers. You're literally adding value over time. Right? You're in a relationship. Someone's bogging you down with negativity. That's a liability, right? They're absorbing your time. You're responsible to create conversations, go out, spend time, all this other stuff. And the asset, you could switch it. Grow the relationship, make it better, or maybe you could just cut them out because they're too much of a liability. Responsibility. Right? This is the idea. Same thing with the food. You need to eat at the end of the day no matter what. But you have ultimately a choice to eat a candy bar or a salad. A filthy sub, or something that's going to be nutritious. So you going to Taco Bell, is that an asset or liability? Again, at the end of the day, you got to eat. No matter what, you got to eat. So let's label these asset or liability. Which one is it? That's going to definitely be a liability. It's going to take health away from you. You're responsible for the actions. You're responsible for what's going to do as a cascade of effect. Whereas if you eat something nutritious, it's going to be an asset because it's going to replenish, make you grow, become stronger. It's going to increase your mood, make you feel better, all that type of stuff. So you boil everything down to an asset or liability. And I guarantee you, when I first listened to that book or read that book, and I listened to this concept, I immediately started selling things. I'm like, yeah, I don't need this, I don't need this. These are liabilities. These are just time wasters that are preventing me, handcuffing me from focusing on the important shit. My life, my future, goals. Stop wasting so much time. Time is an asset. You can either have it work for you or have it work against you. Time moves forward with or without you. You determine how to use it. It could be a liability, right? We all get the same amount of time. If you're struggling right now, or maybe you think you're thriving, you're living the good life, and you claim that you don't have enough time in the day to do stuff, you're thinking wrong. Because there's tons of people out there that are stretching every single second, every moment of every single day. I'm working on that. I know that I still have way more potential on stretching every single second. And you can too, right? So time is either a liability or an asset. If you're making statements like that, there's not enough time in the day. Time to you is a liability. Turn that into an asset. How do you get time to become an asset and work for you? Maybe you hire people, right? That's the perk about entrepreneurship or owning companies. You own a company and you have an employee, they work 40 hours, you just added 40 hours to your life. You're taking 40 hours from their life, but you're exchanging that with obviously compensation and everything. And then you are gaining those 40 hours. See, flip. We're turning time into an asset and not a liability. What other liabilities are plaguing your life? People, food, activities or lack thereof. Let's hear them. Let's work them out. Again, you got to get your success planner, because we map out, you write down your assets and your liabilities. You take inventory like you're a business, because you are. You map out your life, and you know exactly what liabilities you have in your life, and you eliminate them. You kick them to the curb. And then you focus on adding and strengthening assets. So that's all you have. And then you just continue blowing up, living the good life, living your phenomenal dream that you want and desire. Again, my name is Joe Delgado. Follow us at Indestructible Me. Subscribe. Always stay up to date. Share it so we can change the mind and we can change the world. Thank you for tuning in, and always be great.